My name is Caseus Jedi Knight. When I began my training under my master, I was trained to be a peacekeeper. When the Clone Wars began, I was trained to be a soldier. Nowadays, I'm not sure what I am. My master always taught me that defeat is not without silver lining. There's still hope out there. Even now, when the Empire reigns supreme, there's still a silver lining. I have to believe that. After the Jedi were destroyed, I joined forces with Dravok. We tried to hunt down Vader and take revenge for all the Jedi he killed. We failed. I had never felt the crushing weight of my own hubris more than in the hour of my defeat. So I ran. To anyone listening to this recording, I offer only this wisdom. However uncertain our destinies may be, fighting to avoid or change them is not the way. I've lived my life for nearly 20 years in constant fear of where my path will lead me. Looking to the next day, all the while dreading what will come. Running. Hiding. Trying so desperately to stray from a path that was set before me long before I was born. No longer. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force.
Greetings, fellow Jedi. I am Master Kukuri Takai of the Jedi Order. Attachment is forbidden to the Jedi. This much is true. And yet such feelings are natural. In the past, I grappled with my own attachment to someone very close to me. I've since learned to distance myself from such feelings. That road led me into a dark period in my life. One I will never be able to fully move past. The duty of a master is to see to it that your student surpasses you, not only in strength, but in all aspects of life. It is our job to nurture the next generation of Jedi, to carry forth the ways of the Jedi long after we've passed on. We are what they grow beyond. I sometimes yearn for a life outside of the Jedi. A life where I could indulge in my emotions and attachments. It seems so childish to think about. Regardless, I have a duty. Not only to the Jedi, but to my apprentice. I will not turn my back upon all that I built my life upon. Defeat is not without silver lining. My master taught me that. I still believe it to be true. Even in the darkest of times, light will find a way to shine through.
Dravok the traitor. Is that what my legacy is going to be? I betrayed no one. I didn't turn my back on the Jedi. It was the Jedi who turned their back on those in need. They bowed to the whims of a corrupt and stagnant republic that only cares for those who can line the pockets of the politicians. What I did for the innocent people of the galaxy that suffered daily with no aid from the Order. There is no I can't. Not here. If you go in with doubts in your mind, you've already lost. You can't be held back by your own fear. You need to be in control. Not in a passive sense either. Harness it. Use it. You're afraid? Good. Use that fear to motivate you. You're angry? Even better. Anger, when controlled, is a fire that isn't easy to extinguish. But the second you allow fear or anger to convince you that you're going to fail, it's over. Kakuri. I never wanted her as my enemy. I wanted her by my side. But she's made her choice. And I have to stick to mine. There's no going back. The odds have always been against me. I've escaped certain death more times than I can imagine. One of these days, my luck will run out. I've accepted that. But I'm not accepting death until it takes me. Until then, I'm fighting.
I'm Sarah Keto, Jedi Knight and Sin Dralig's greatest pupil. As a Jedi, I've learned how to use the Force to help people. But I've also learned how to fight when the time comes. I've taken down more battle droids than I can count at this point. After Dravok attacked the Jedi Temple, I spoke to my master about making some changes to my fighting style. I began practicing the dual lightsaber fighting style known as Jarkai, and built a second lightsaber a few years later. If I ever come across Grievous again, I'll be sure to thank him personally for that business on Kelja. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I know, shocking, right? I spent most of my time training. It wasn't until I met Caseus and Corbyn that I knew I made my first real friends. Corbyn can be a bit of a bonehead sometimes. And Caseus? Well, let's just say he's a magnet for bad luck. Still, I'm glad I met them. I don't know how long the Clone War will last. I don't know if I'll even be around to see it end. As long as I have Caseus and Corbyn now, I know things will turn out okay. Practice and training are key to becoming a great Jedi. That's not to say that raw strength and power aren't an asset. But it's through training and dedication that one becomes a fully rounded and complete Jedi.
I'm Commander Corbyn Roth of the Jedi Order, commander of the 111th Attack Battalion. No amount of training will prepare you for the outside world. Fighting remotes and training droids is one thing. Fighting battle droids on the front line of unfamiliar soil, that's something else entirely. After I lost my arm to Dravok, I got a replacement, but it's different. I can still call on the Force with it, but it's almost like a ghost. About an echo of what I used to be able to feel naturally. The longer you serve on the battlefield, the more you realize just how little we're being told. We're given orders and told to follow. My troops have little issue with that. I'm not so sure that's a completely positive trait for a soldier. There has to be a set line between right and wrong, but I think we may have crossed it already. I'd never say it to his face, but I envy Caseus sometimes. Don't get me wrong, Caseus is a great Jedi, but It seems like he's not pushed as hard as me. He's not on the battlefield every day. He can actually talk to his master without feeling like a failure. And he has Sarah to come home to on Coruscant. He thinks I don't know. Trust me when I say I've known for a long time. But I can't rat him out. I wouldn't betray my friend like that. No matter what happens, I have to keep pushing forward. I can't let my emotions overtake me, even if it means pushing them down. I have to be strong. I have to keep fighting, or else all of the clones who've died serving in my battalion will have died for nothing. I can't live with that on my conscience.
I'm Colonel Gaidom Haywickend, Jedi Knight, and Rebel. After surviving the Purge, I didn't have much direction. I was still very young, and my options were limited. I was one person knowing I couldn't fight back, until I found the path. After joining the growing rebellion, I began to work as a secret contact for Senator Mon Mothma, working on Cloud City. I passed on information on just about everything. Weapons manufacturing, shipping lanes, trooper transports, anything the Alliance could use to hurt the Empire. There's a big difference between being a Jedi and being a rebel. Working with the Alliance, I've learned that I've had to forgo much of what I was taught as a Padawan on Coruscant. I have to take action more often than I'd like. Violence is a regular occurrence, despite how much I'd rather abstain from it. There's no council anymore to offer guidance. I have to make the tough decisions and keep my men safe, and our operations as secret as possible. There's no army of clones to aid us in this fight. Just people. Tired, angry, and ready to fight to return the galaxy to its rightful state. I've learned so much about what it's like for the average citizen living under the Empire's boot. The Empire won't stop until they've crushed the spirits of those who cry for aid and snuff out any signs of insurgency. I'm going to make sure that's easier said than done. There's no greater threat to the fight for freedom than despair. I saw what losing everything did to my friend Caseus. It turned him into a shell of the brave and kind Jedi he once was. To give in to despair is to accept defeat. To accept defeat is to surrender. And I refuse to surrender when so many people depend on us.
My name is Liara. Liara Cinda, daughter of Dantooine and Jedi Knight. When I was a young girl, I was living a carefree life on Dantooine. Then, I met a man named Caseus. I soon found out that Caseus was a Jedi. Caseus told me that I was strong in the Force. I didn't understand what it meant at the time. Now I do. Caseus and I left Dantooine and traveled across the galaxy as he trained me in the ways of the Jedi. It wasn't easy. I know I messed up often, but Caseus was always there to help. I never knew my real father, but having Caseus around, it felt like I had one after all. One of the most important lessons I learned from Caseus is that each one of us, no matter how different, are all connected through the Force. We all share that light inside of us. Even the worst of us are luminous beings in the Force. Vader captured me after my master and I were separated. He broke me. He turned me into something vile. Someone I still see in my nightmares. It was Caseus who brought me back, who showed me who I really am. He didn't abandon me to the dark side. I'll forever be grateful to him for his sacrifice and the love he showed me and our friends. The war is over. Luke Skywalker is determined to rebuild the Jedi Order. But I'm not ready for that. Not yet. As much as I try to deny it, I can still feel the scars left in my soul from my time in the dark side. Until I can learn to heal and to subdue the darkness inside me, I have to continue my own training. With Caseus watching over me, I know I can. I owe it to him. I owe it to myself.